The future you is a lie, not a mistake, a structure, a system designed to keep you moving so you never have to be here. The mind whispers, wholeness is later. And in that whisper, this moment becomes a problem. Your life becomes a project, a bill you keep paying to feel allowed to exist. Here is the mechanism. The self-improvement machine needs a gap. Who you are versus who you should be. That gap is oxygen. Without it, the machine dies. So it creates the gap again and again. You call it ambition. You call it healing. You call it growth. But look closer. It is a transaction. You trade the present for a promise, and the promise charges interest. You know this feeling. You finish the course. Relief. Then the mind says, good. Now fix the next thing. You hit the goal. A breath. Then the goalpost moves. You get a quiet moment. And instead of resting, you reach for something to become. This is not about laziness. This is not about settling. This is about seeing the trap that uses your desire for wholeness against you. Buddhist psychologists notice something strange in meditation communities. People using emptiness teachings to bypass their wounds. They called it spiritual bypassing growth as avoidance. But there's another layer. When neuroscientists studied identity after loss, they found the brain literally rewires around repeated patterns. You're not just grieving a person. You're grieving the neural architecture built around them. Now apply that to becoming. If you are not becoming, who are you? You have built your brain around the promise of later, around the narrative. I will be enough when. So what do? Stop improving yourself? No, that is not the trap. The trap is using improvement as proof you are not enough yet. Ask yourself this. If tomorrow there was nothing left to fix, would you feel free or would you feel empty? Because if your identity is becoming, then being done feels like losing yourself. This is why people sabotage their own healing, why they find new problems when old ones dissolve, why rest feels dangerous. The mind says, if I stop striving, I disappear. But that's backwards. Now, stop. Right now. Drop the shovel. Find the one who is lacking. Do not search in thoughts. Thoughts are just sentences. Look in the body. Where's the incomplete one? The throat, the jaw, the gut. That pulling forward? Look closer. Is there a person inside that sensation? Or only sensation? A thought says, I am not enough. Awareness says, I see a thought. Now ask, does the awareness of lack feel lacking? Does the space-holding anxiety feel anxious? No. The one who notices you are stuck is not stuck. That is the crack in the spell. Now the machine will panic. It will try to turn this into a new project. I must stay present. I must get this right. I must transcend seeking. Smile at that. That is the collector asking you to sign again. You do not have to sign. True spirituality is not about transcending your humanity. It is about meeting it, not as a problem to solve, but as the living texture of what you already are. This does not mean you stop changing. This does not mean you ignore your wounds. Real growth happens when you stop using transformation to avoid being here. When you acknowledge the jealousy, the rage, the shame, not as obstacles to enlightenment, but as the very place where awareness meets life. Research confirms what contemplative traditions have taught for millennia. Mindfulness, simply being with what is, literally restructures the brain toward clarity and resilience. But not because you're fixing something, because you're seeing something. You are not a problem moving toward a solution. You are the space where the whole story appears. And in that space, the urgency softens. The debt loses its grip. So here is your choice. Keep paying a bill that never reaches zero, or end the contract. Not by force, by seeing. Drop the shovel. And before the next thought, tell me what is here when you stop becoming.